Welcome back. I'm Wavepunk, and this is day 51 of producing for a year. Yesterday, we tried to make a big explosion, cataclysmic conclusion to our piece by piling a whole bunch of sound effects on top of each other. And the first thing I noticed at the end of yesterday and again the beginning of today when replaying the sound is that it's all a little bit spread out. It lasts a little bit too long. It's not impactful enough. So the first thing I did was take all the sounds, kind of bunch them closer to each other to tighten that sound up. Okay, so it sounds better now, but it is a piece ending sound. This is something you would do if there's nothing following this, or if we're transitioning to like, I don't know, like voice acting or something. But I do want this piece to have like a musical conclusion. I like what we've built up. We've built up this massive drop. I wanted to kind of have a nice satisfying chord on the other side of it at least. And I tried adding some kind of long held notes, like strings. I also tried doing the chiptune organ. It turns out maybe this ball of chaos I made was perhaps too effective. It like kind of completely removes my ear from the key center. So these sustained tonic pitches I'm holding down that we have emerging from the rubble per se, they don't even sound satisfying. They don't even sound like a resolution to the 5 chord that we had hung on for 30 seconds prior to this. So I, for now, just muted this. This was a cool idea. I was glad to try it. I'm leaving it in, but I'm going to try something else for now. Okay, so what if we tried recalling the Game Boy section in the middle, the full chiptune breakdown we have in the middle, and instead of it being that same melody though, we were to play like a victory theme. So it's like we build up through the build, we're fighting the boss, and then there's some sort of sound effects that kind of indicate that we have won the fight, and then what emerges on the other side is victory music, like you've won the fight, again through this Game Boy very chiptune sound. In concept I like it, so I started messing around with melody ideas. Okay, so this is a cool moment to capture on camera, and it's one of the upsides to recording my entire process like I'm doing. That melodic bit I just played where it kind of like resolves, it goes bum, 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 bum. I liked it very much, but my brain is in improvisation mode as I'm playing this, so I forget it almost as quickly as I came up with it. But I do remember that I liked it. I remember going, oh, that was cool. And as I try to play it again, I play something different, and now my brain is kind of overlaid with this new sound. And as I'm continuing here to try and search for that melodic idea again, it's gone. This is a thing that happens to me all the time when I just sit down and just start noodling stuff. I'll come up with something, it'll be great, and I really got to stop in that moment and try to write it down, or else I will lose it forever. So this was actually really special. I was able to stop the video and then immediately restart, like recording a new video, pull up the old video, and go back and find that moment I played. So I didn't lose it to the sands of time, and was able to actually use it in the piece. And so from here, it was simply a matter of putting down a playthrough and then adjusting all the MIDI. This melody does have some syncopation to it, and I have some metering issues I'll talk about a little bit later that are making this MIDI difficult to work with. But after a lot of tinkering with the MIDI, we ended up with this. So I was so confused as to why everything I was playing sounded so syncopated when I was reading this here. Just looking at this is all like coming in on like little pickups and stuff, like kind of starting in the middle of the measures, and it was like everything felt like it was like on a pickup or something. I was just confused. It makes so much more sense now. When I was zoomed in like this, it was really easy for me to feel like this was the start of a new measure, that this was a whole measure here, and not to realize that these numbers are in the same measure, and that this is the start of, these are the starts of the new measure. So I literally have this section starting on beat 2 of measure 225, which makes everything kind of line up in weird ways. But that's kind of just a clerical thing. I can really easily put in here like a time signature change. Is it this signature? Number of beats 1. Number of beats 4. And now everything lines up properly. I just have this like little bar of 1 that's just this little sound. It's got its own measure. It's interesting. It's kind of a fun transition. I don't know if I love the tonal shift. I do like the idea of like a little like triumphant melody here. It's got like Mario blended with like Peanuts Christmas. But also the Naboo celebration at the end of the first part of first Star Wars. A little bit of a lot of different triumphant sounds. I think if there's a pretty hard cut on all of these sounds, right now they're all kind of still like, if I mute these 3 channels, if I mute these 2 channels that are actually still singing. There's a lot of sounds hanging in the air. I think if I cut those out and have it'll like really harshly cut to this, the effect will be stronger. But it's also been like a really good, not serious piece of music, but like, is that like a annoying conclusion? Is it unsatisfying? Does it feel like you actually beat the boss, if this is kind of where it goes? I don't know. I've been sitting here playing it over and over again, and I'm not quite sure. And I am, unfortunately, gotta go because I got some stuff I gotta do today. But thank you all for watching. We're getting some ideas in place. See you guys tomorrow.